waking up in the morning knowing that today over 200,000 homes and businesses are going to receive something your company helped deliver? That's the scale today's guest is working with. Stuart Oliphant is the owner of All About Magazine, a local advertising and community magazine and leaflet delivery company delivering around 200,000 leaflets of community magazines every month across Milton Keynes and the surrounding areas. The business is now entering a new chapter with Stuart recently rebranding the magazine. Today, we're going to go behind the scenes and explore what it really takes to run a local media and distribution business at this scale. Stuart, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well, thanks. So let's go back to the beginning. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, we're way back when.
Nearly 20 years ago, when you first started working in the business, did you ever imagine it would grow to the scale it has today?
Well, actually, I didn't start it. I've only been doing it now for 16 years. It was started by a local lady who wanted to do something from home. And I started working for the business. I think it was 3 years into her having it. So about 2009, I think it was.
Okay.
And I actually brought the business in 2010 when she decided that she'd had enough. She wanted to move away. Kids were growing up as they do. So yeah, I brought just the magazine, which was then Your Local Flyer. And I ran it from home for probably a good 18 months until my first child arrived. And then when he started walking around and talking and pulling phone wires out and doing all sorts of things that children do, I then moved out into an office, which was the best thing I ever did because it grew my presence, grew the brand outside of my little bubble at home. So yeah, that was 2011.
Wow.
Seems a lifetime ago now.
Yeah. So let's fast forward to today then. When you wake up in the morning and start your day, what does your typical day look like for you?
Oh, wake up in the morning. It would be get up, get the kids off to school, make sure they're where they're supposed to be, head into the office, catch up with everything that we've missed overnight, looking at the distributors, seeing what they've done with their GPS tracking and updating all the jobs that we have on the go, and so the clients can have their updates as and when they need them. And then probably the doors open and phones turn on about 9 o'clock, and there we are, making the calls, returning the calls. So yeah, it's for want of a better phrase, it's a bog standard day. We just get up, we just get up, get on, make sure everything's being done.
Okay, so the first thing you do check then is distribution. What's happened overnight? Yes. Anything you need
always
to check?
Yeah, that's it. So for instance, today the team would have been out delivering. Everything they save from their GPS tracks will then be available for us to see on the Monday, or actually be tomorrow, but we'll check it on the Monday, update all the jobs for the progress of where they've done, how much they've done, so that as and when the clients are asking for progress, we've got it straight in front of us.
Brilliant. And do they do it every day? Have you got teams going out every day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we do indeed. We've now probably got a team of about 28 that are out pounding the streets. They don't all go out every day.
Yeah.
So we probably have on average about 10 out every day delivering the leaflets to different areas across Milton Keynes, which is expanding rapidly. So need more feet on the street, as we call it.
And how do you manage to organise all of that, Stuart?
Prosecco. No.
Later.
We have later. Yeah. Sometimes during the day we could do with it. We have our own planning system, which we had created back in 2019. So all jobs, orders, clients, distributors are all in this system. Leaflet jobs are allocated to the area jobs, and then the people are allocated to that. And that creates an invoice, a street listing, and a map, all for the team to then go out and do. From there, progress goes on to everything goes on to it. It's like my digital Bible for leaflet delivery.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had that created back in 2019, I think it was, and it's been a godsend, absolute godsend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what do you think are the most challenges people might not realise about leaflet distribution? What's the hardest thing?
Two biggest challenges that we do have are the weather. When it's raining, we can't go out and deliver because no one wants a soggy bit of paper through their door. customers have paid good money to have these leaflets printed,
Mm.
the last thing they're going to want is them absolutely ruined by the rain. So that's one of our biggest challenges. So as you can imagine, February was an absolute nightmare for us.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
And second challenge would be, I would say, some of the distributors that we've had, haven't got any more, because when the human element gets involved, that's when problems can happen. But we do, with our GPS tracking, we can wheedle them out so quickly. So there are two biggest headaches when it comes
Okay.
to distribution. Everything else is like, it all, with the system, it works perfectly fine because we know what's got to go where and when. It's just, yeah, the weather. I would say if I had to categorize them, the weather would be my biggest headache
Yeah.
because we can plan it. We can do all the planning in the world to make sure it's going to happen. But the moment those heavens open, we're done.
I
We
hadn't
have to
thought of
stop.
that. And I suppose it has a knock-on
Mm,
effect then of the scheduling. Because if you're a day behind,
absolutely.
then you've got other stuff that's going to happen the following day, and that can't
Absolutely.
because you've got to catch up.
Yeah. Absolutely, and then we're on the phone to clients, obviously explaining to the whenever we book a job in, whenever we deal with an inquiry or we convert an inquiry, one of the things we always tell them is we will have it done by X date, weather depending.
Yeah.
And living in the UK, you can never guarantee what's going to happen. I heard on the radio earlier on today that we're going to get snow here in Milton Keynes next week. It was beautiful yesterday. It was almost shorts weather yesterday. You couldn't write it. So we always make sure that the clients are aware of if it's chucking down with rain, we will not be going out. And they're okay with it. If there is a
Yeah.
specific deadline, then obviously those jobs will get planned in before others that haven't. But yeah, it's biggest
Okay.
headache. Biggest headache.
And how do the magazines fit into that kind of leaflet distribution operation? Do they kind of work hand in hand? How does that all work?
They do, because as we have specific areas the magazines go to, those areas will always be on our plans. So we'll always be going to those areas every month without fail. So they're the areas that we will sell first to clients if that's what they want. But they all fit in beautifully. It's it's a magazine, yes, but when planning and delivering, it's just another leaflet.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
in in the grand scheme of things, it is just another leaflet. So we always make sure the areas are booked in. In fact, we book the areas and we go to for the year, so we always know what we've got on what weeks, and then we can plan everything else around it.
Okay.
So yeah,
Uh,
it is. Yeah, it's
and do the two sides of the
not
business
really a headache.
support each other?
They do massively. Yes, yeah, they really do. So if we've got, let's say we have a magazine that's going to an area that nobody else has booked into for that week, we do have a bank of clients that will go to any area across Milton Keynes. We get a certain number of leaflets we can deliver every month, and then we use that allocation to then fill those areas. So it's not actually, it's more cost effective for me to be able to send the magazine out because it's being costs are being covered by other leaflets going into that area. So yeah, they fit in beautifully. They really work well together.
Okay. And so some customers do leaflet and also do a bit of advertising,
Um,
or do they tend to
yes, they'll
be people
start
do one or the
they'll
other?
start with a leaflet first, so they can get that initial impact straight into someone's house, straight into someone's eye line, and then they'll carry on their marketing throughout the magazine going forward. Because magazine advertising is more cost effective than a leaflet delivery because you haven't got the print element of it, haven't got
Mm.
X, Y, and Z. So yes, they do go hand in hand. We have some people that prefer leaflets. We have some people that prefer magazines. We do have a crossover every now and again. So it's we go with whatever the client wants to do. Really,
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
push down one certain route. We do
Okay.
go with what they want.
And was the plan always to do publishing and distribution leaflet? Was that always a plan, or did you just fall into it?
No, no.
What happened?
I trained as an interior designer. Is what I trained
Oh, I
as.
didn't know that.
Um, did you not know
No, I didn't.
that? Yes, I trained as an interior designer whilst living in a very small, sleepy market town in Buckinghamshire.
Okay.
Um, was never going to work. I was never going to be the Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen of that area.
Well, I don't know.
And so I had to go and get a job. I had bills to pay. I've got the flamboyancy, just didn't have the client base. Um, and then, of course, bills have to be paid. I had to go and get a job. So I worked in retail for many, many, many years. I was a store manager for many retailers throughout Milton Keynes. Sorry, I was Aylesbury at the time. For many retailers, from clothing to jewellery to fashion to you name it. From there, I was transferred to London and went to work for Harrods, is where I went to work for. I was the admin
Okay.
manager for the jewellery and gold concessions within Harrods. Left there, went to the rag trade, left there, and then went to work for a company called Bartercard, which many people might know, which is how I then came across the owner of Your Local Flyer. And then when I'd had enough of that, I phoned her and said, "Can I have a job, please?" And she gave me a job. And then 12 months later to the day, I brought the business. So
Wow.
no, I never, ever, ever wanted to. It never crossed my mind. Never,
And
ever
how
crossed
did
my mind.
leaflets come into it then? Because that was just a magazine, wasn't it, Stuart?
I just bought the magazine. That's right. Yeah. So in 2017, the leaflet delivery company that was delivering the magazines for me, he came to me and said, "I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. You're going to need to find a new distribution company." So of course,
Ah,
panic sets in. So I went home to my wife and just said, "I can't. There's nobody else that I've worked with long enough that I can trust.
mm.
We're going to have to speak to him and buy it." So that's how that came about. That was 2017. So I bought that.
Wow.
I am
Wow.
Victor. I'm the Victor Cayenne of Milton Keynes. I liked it so much I brought it with the old what was it here? I can't remember what it was now. Yeah, the razor company. Victor Cayenne brought that razor company. I think
Okay.
it was Gillette. I think it may have been.
Gillette, yeah.
But yeah, so it was. Yeah, it was one of those. It was. I can't. I can't give it to somebody else now. I need to start to manage because we'd had a few issues with deliveries when
Mm.
there's a third party involved. So now I get to manage it all myself. I know exactly what's going on and have no one to blame for but myself if we have a mistake or anything goes wrong, which happens. Of course, it
No,
happens.
no. Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
no. It's to answer your initial question. Never ever thought about publishing at all.
Okay. Okay. Um, so, but what actually goes into putting a local magazine together? So, how do you manage those processes, putting it together, planning
Uh,
it?
well, obviously, planning it. We've been with Mag Manager. I was thinking about this earlier. We've been using Mag Manager now since 2016. It's been 10
Have you?
years.
Gosh.
Yeah, yeah, been
Wow.
2000. In fact, it may be longer. Yeah, no, 2016. And they used to be done on spreadsheets by then. So as you can imagine,
Yeah.
that was a headache. But yes, we use Mag Manager for planning magazines. Page I can sell Mag Manager till the cows come home. But what Mag Manager actually opened up for us to do was I didn't need a graphic designer anymore.
Mm.
So because
Mm.
majority of our artwork was supplied. Um, so it's just a case of dropping it in and it's done. I needed a designer to put the magazines together because I had no idea. And when he retired, I forced myself and trained myself of how to do it on InDesign.
Oh, I didn't
So
know that. So, do you
yeah,
auto-publish?
no,
Oh, I need to show you how to do that.
no,
That would save
yeah.
you a lot of
I've
time.
I've I've looked at it. I think I'm just that little bit too much of a control freak
Yeah,
to use an auto publish, but it is something that could potentially because once auto publish is in, the team in the office can do it for me,
exactly.
done and dusted.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and then I can not be here on print day.
Yeah.
So it's done and dusted for me. Yeah. So I taught myself how to do it. Obviously, saved myself a wage bill,
Yeah.
and which then obviously buying the leaflet delivery company after that. Because I increased the team as well because they had their own team, so I increased all that. And so we do that. Mag Manager is how we do it.
Okay.
That's how it's
Yeah.
the easiest way of saying it. That's how I do it. Mag
Right.
Manager and InDesign. They're the two I do.
Okay. When afterwards, at some point, we need to get together and I'll show you how to do auto-publish when you've
Okay.
got a bit of spare
Yeah,
time and then
absolutely.
save you a bit of time on that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, please
so
do. Yeah.
so
If it's as easy as you say it
is
is, then that'd be brilliant.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, then yeah, let's do it.
And community, do you do much community stuff in your magazines? Or they
We do loads of community stuff in the
do you?
magazine.
I thought you
So
did.
with regards to the rebrand, we used to be. So I'm going to take you back a little bit further here. Before lockdown, we had four different magazines. Your Local Flyer, North, South, East, and West. Throughout lockdown, we carried on publishing, and I was sat at home putting these magazines together, and it was my son. So how old was he? 6 years. My son was 8 at the time. He came into me and he saw me doing it. He left and he came back and he saw me doing the same thing. He said, "Haven't you just done that?" I was like, "Yeah, but I've got a different magazine." He's like, "But it's exactly the same thing." And I thought, actually, do you know what? You're right. So I combined the four into one big one.
Hmm.
And we became it. We changed distribution, did it. We did loads of that just after lockdown. So that was the August of 2020. And we've been running as one magazine for 5 years. But what I've noticed is in They don't want one big magazine anymore. Actually, they want that local hyper community feel about their magazines. So what we did was we launched one in a local area to us in Stony Stratford as just a little hyper magazine just for Stony Stratford, that local area. And it just went mental. It just went mad. They were loving it. They were all over it. So I then started thinking, okay, I need to do this elsewhere. So then I started pulling other areas out of the big distribution and making other little magazines. And that's where it came from. And that became All About. So that was all about Stony. That one's all about Olney. That one's all about Newport, so on and so forth. And then we just have one smaller distribution magazine now that covers the inner estates of MK. But everywhere else has now got its own little pockets. So we went from having 4 to 1 to now back up to 4 with a 5th one coming.
Yeah, and so that's coming, and so that's why you rebranded, really, because it's All About.
That's why I rebranded. Yeah, Your Local Flyer had been around since God was a boy, and it's one of those brands that everyone knew, everyone just expected to see it, and then all of a sudden it's now gone and All About's come about. People are engaging a bit more with it now. So yes, we're still marketing, yes, we're still calling, yes, we're still doing everything we need to do, but we're getting more natural flow coming through the door because people are now interested to see what is this all about? Who are you? And it's generated a lot of, as I say, Your Local Flyer have been around nearly 20 years. So I think people have just been, what's the word I'm looking for? Numb to the brand. They just knew it. It was there. They just saw it. It came in. It went on the side. They didn't read it, potentially. And then All About came about. There's lots of abouts here. All About came about, and people are reading it. They're picking it up. They're doing more with it. It is more local. We're hyper focused on that specific area. We have local people writing recipes, local people writing gardening, local people writing stories. There's a lady in Stony Stratford who's lived there since she was born, and the stuff that she knows about the place, which is a historic little market town, people love it. Absolutely love it. So, but what I do locally, I have my own podcast through All About. It's called All About the Podcast. Very ingenious. And I was met with the local radio station, Stony Stratford. I met with their breakfast presenter yesterday, and we recorded an episode yesterday. And from that, we're having a conversation that a friend and I are going to be doing the drive time session on a Friday afternoon on the local radio station.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
And see how things come out of things, just looking at it and doing something different.
Yeah. Yeah, because the idea for All About Stony Stratford came to me while I was at home thinking, what marketing what can I do differently to start bringing people in? And I just thought, hang on, let's go back to basics. Let's go back to the local magazines, because people phone up and say, need to advertise. How much is it? X amount to 30,000, and that's too much, too big, too expensive, because people's budgets are shrinking. So it's like, right, I need to go local, need to go hyper local again, and that's what we did. See, I could be a radio presenter, Mandy. Can you believe it?
It'd be brilliant. Remember me when you're famous.
Yeah. Oh, I will do. Yes, when I'm on stage presenting Heart Breakfast in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm hopefully it comes off. Touch wood. Hopefully,
that'd be really cool. Let me know, won't you? You let me know.
I will do, because if there's one thing I can do, it's talk.
Yeah, no,
you'd be brilliant. Talk the hind legs off.
You'd be brilliant at that. So I really think you'd be brilliant at it. You're such a character, Stuart.
Thank you. Well, that's just it. I have a face for radio. That's what I've got.
Yeah, no. Well, it's just your background and what you've done and how you deal with people. Being in retail and business and everything gives you so much knowledge, and you're being able to speak to different people.
Yeah. Retail has been invaluable with regards to running a business, because you're given targets and KPIs and everything within your store. Which then sets you up to run your business on your own. But the scariest thing about that is you don't have the backing of this massive corporate company behind you. When things do go awry, you are the be all and end all, of the buck stops with you. So, and we've all had ideas that didn't quite work out very well.
Yeah. We just learn by them.
Which we move on from. Yeah, exactly. You pick yourself up, dust yourself off, grab a glass, and off you go again. Yeah.
But it's quite interesting you're saying about hyperlocal, because I see that, because I talk to publishers all day long, And
Yes.
I've seen how the businesses have changed, and it has gone back
Mm.
to that. And people, instead of
Yeah.
having a 20,000 distribution magazine, have gone back to
Yeah.
maybe having 4 or 5,000, and they're more
That's right.
targeted, and people having that much more local. And I think that's
Yeah.
because social media's got so busy.
Yeah.
And and think people want something very much local, their local
They
businesses,
do.
their local
They do.
magazine that belongs to them.
Yeah. They take
So it's,
ownership of it. It
yeah,
becomes
yeah,
theirs. Yeah, so
yeah.
we could be walking through the streets of Stony Stratford or Olney or wherever, delivering the magazines because we go out once a month and we do it ourselves to the shops, and so they've always got a copy. We're being stopped in the streets, asked for a copy. We're being
Oh,
people
that's so
going to
good.
shops, just, oh hi, how are you? How's this? How's the family? So we've become in a very short space of time part of their community, even though we've always delivered to them as this big magazine.
Mm.
We've become part of their community again, which is it's really nice. Half the stuff I've done since launching All About, I wouldn't have done under your local flyer. No way,
Yeah, no,
because
that's
we were just too
interesting.
big,
Yeah.
too big. Yeah,
Um,
but you're
and
right. There are a lot more hyper local magazines. I think are going to start to appear again from this massive distribution.
mm,
So yeah, fingers crossed.
yeah,
It lasts.
good. Um, and why do you think print marketing still works today?
I think you answered that with when you said about social media. If you
Mm.
don't follow the page, then you don't see their adverts. If you go through when I first joined Facebook, way back when God was a boy, all you ever saw was feeds from your friends, feeds from family,
Yeah,
posts about this, posts about what someone's having for dinner, little Johnny's World Book Day outfit, and that's what you ever saw. And you, again, it's that you felt part of someone's life and family.
yeah,
Now it's just advert after advert after ream after it's just blown up to the point where you do get lost in the noise. And that's all it is noise. Instagram's a bit better than Facebook. Um, and let's be fair, as paper publishers, we still advertise on social media. We have to do both.
mm,
Um, but yeah, I think, and people like a tangible product,
yeah,
and they like to take ownership of it, and they like it to be theirs. And they open the page and they go, oh, there's so and so from the Cobblers. Oh, I must go and see them. Whereas on a Facebook, you just scroll through. Oh, there's another advert. There's another advert.
yeah,
There's another celebrity that's done something they shouldn't have done. It's just one of those.
yeah. Too much
It's
noise.
constant.
Mm,
Yeah, constant noise in your face. I
yeah,
very rarely go on Facebook nowadays. I just do it for work.
yeah, yeah.
Just I don't like it. I don't like it.
No, it's too much advertising on it, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And do you know, good luck to them. They're doing well. And I think the younger generation, I sound really old there, the younger generation enjoy it, and that's what they're used to. But I think in time, they will start to get a little bit peed off with it as well. So like, come on, well, I'm looking for. I saw that thing yesterday. Where has it gone? And you're
Yeah,
scrolling, it's gone. It's gone for good. You see it once and it's gone for good.
yeah. No, definitely, I agree.
So I do think, yeah, because I don't know if when you had the magazines, if people would say to you, that's done, that trade's going to die, that industry's going to die, it's all going to be digital and online.
Mm, yeah,
And
they
I get
did.
we still get it now. It's like, yeah, absolutely. It's not going to die. I think it's plateaued for the next few years because as we say, social media is getting really annoying for people. But I do think there could be an increase coming again soon. I
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah. No, good. Um,
Anyway,
so
sorry. I
go on.
told you I
No,
could talk.
no, it's looking back over nearly 2 decades in business, what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned?
Um, I'm not always right. That
Mm,
was a big lesson. Um, Another one is, I was going to sound like a right Scrooge here. The exposure you're offered by free advertising never comes off ever, and you're
mm,
just you're throwing good money after bad. Yes, okay, we offer obviously freebies for charities, but it's when people come to constantly, and I was always, yeah, I'll pop that in, and the magazine's growing, and I'm thinking this is brilliant, and then I'm looking, going, but there's no revenue to cover the
yeah,
cost. So
yeah,
that was a big lesson learnt. Um, Bigger isn't always better is another
yes.
one, and that's
Mm,
certainly
that's
of,
interesting.
of late. Bigger isn't. People, you look at it, go, oh, I've got this massive distribution that's going to ours was 35,000 homes. Massive distribution. It's not always better because would you rather have 100% of something like cost smaller, or 50% of something that it doesn't work out? Yeah, so they're probably the biggest lessons I've learned.
And
Biggest one is I'm not
yeah,
always right. That was a hard one.
yeah. And what advice would you give to somebody who's starting maybe a publishing business? What would you give advice
Do
to?
it.
Do it. Yeah.
Do it. Just do it. Just, yeah, trust yourself. Do it. And it will hopefully all come out good in the end. But also check your competitors, see what they're up to. Because we've had loads of magazines try to start in Milton Keynes, and leaflet distribution companies try to pop up and start because they think that looks easy.
Mm.
It's not as easy as it looks. But trust yourself is the other one. Trust what you're doing, believe in what you're doing, but do it.
Yeah.
That's my
And
advice. I'm glad I did it.
yeah, yeah. And I imagine, running a distribution, a leaflet business, I don't know how you do it because it must be so much management of getting the leaflets in, getting them delivered, then
Yeah.
sending them out and getting I just don't know how you do all of that. Honestly, don't.
Yeah.
Take my hat
We
off
do a
to
lot
you.
of printing for the clients. Oh, thank you. We do a lot of printing for our clients as well. So they'll send us. So we are literally print, design, if you want to, and deliver. So everything comes to us, so we know when it's coming, and that's when we can start to plan. Yeah. So it's not. I'm going to sell myself short here potentially, but it's not as difficult as it looks. It's just when something like weather, when the weather kicks in, that's when it
Yeah,
starts to.
yeah,
That's when we're frantically charging around, playing chess almost with these
yeah.
jobs. But no, it's not. It's not. When I first took it over, oh my God, it was a mountain to climb because
I
I'd
bet it
only ever
was.
sat behind my desk selling adverts, putting these adverts together or putting these magazines together, sending them off to the printer, and they would go straight to the distribution company. I'd pop down and pick up my copies, and that's all I ever saw.
Yeah,
So I did think, oh, how hard can it be? But it's managing all the different personalities as well of all the different distributors,
yeah. I can
because
imagine.
they are different personalities. They're all fabulous, don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they're all different personalities. So you are a bit of a chameleon. If
yeah,
someone comes through the door who you can't act, it's very, yeah. Some are very shy, some are very loud, some are it's yeah.
yeah. Let's
That's probably a hard thing
managing
as
all
well.
those people. It's probably quite hard, I
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm not on my own. I do have Jackie in the office. She helps me out. So I'm not here on my own. We do it between us. Bless her.
yeah, yeah. No. And is there anything else you want to add, Stuart? Or anything else you listen to the
No,
listeners?
I think no, no, not really. I think we've pretty much covered a lot of it.
Yeah,
I would say that's
yeah.
everything.
Thanks, Stuart.
Yeah, well, I've
Um,
enjoyed it. No, I've enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thanks for your
It's
time.
nice to catch up with you again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thank you, Stuart, and thanks for your time. And just before we wrap up,
That's all right.
just want to reflect on something we've talked about today. When most people see a magazine or leaflet come through the door, they probably don't think much about it, do they?
No,
But
no,
behind it is a huge
no.
amount of work, planning
Yeah.
routes, supporting local businesses, producing a magazine, making sure
Yeah.
thousands of homes stay connected with what's happening in the community. Stuart has
Yeah.
been doing this for nearly 20 years, helping businesses across Milton Keynes to reach out to all these hundreds of thousands of homes. From and magazine distribution, just rebranding, podcasting, radio presenter.
When will I stop?
You're keeping involved. No, that's good. No, it's take your hats off to you, Stuart. You're doing an awful lot, and
Thank you.
it's good. And it's good that even though you've been into business for 20 years, you're not sitting on your laurels. You're thinking, right, what can I do next? What's the next thing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I am once something's up and running and it's working and I don't need to be around as much, I start to get bored. And that's when I go, right, I need to find something else to do. So that's where the podcast idea came from. I was like, right,
Okay.
let's because the idea of the podcast is maybe something if you ask me anything else was it's to get clients to come in and sit with us and meet us and sit down and chat and talk about their business because we
Mhm.
all love doing it. We all love talking about our businesses. But in a magazine or a leaflet, you've got very limited space. So
Yeah.
whereas if you can sit down and have a chat with somebody, and once someone starts talking about it, they're off, they're gone. And you can quite easily get a half hour episode out of sitting down with someone having a chat. I've only done 3. I've done one with a friend of mine just to test the waters. Did a bit about myself and how we got to where we are, and so the one I mentioned earlier with yesterday with the radio presenter. But we will be doing more. I absolutely love it. I love it.
Look
It's
forward
sitting
to
down
it.
having a chat, but if it doesn't feel like work.
And I listening to the radio presenting as well. I'm looking forward to hearing that all about. And I want to hear.
Yeah, well,
Keep in contact. Let us know what happens.
I will do. Yes, I will do. If and when it happens, I will send you the links so
Yeah,
you can have
definitely.
a listen back.
Yeah,
It'll
we'll
be
do.
good fun. Good
Stuart,
fun.
thank you
There we
so
are.
much for joining us
No,
today.
thank you,
Thank
Mandy.
you.
It's been lovely catching up. See you
Thank you.
soon.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.